Dr. Jansen, you've written extensively about this. You have urged Congress to act quickly to keep Social Security solvent. I don't think they got the memo. Now, on that topic, people have proposed a few things. One of them is raising the retirement age. People don't like that. Or lifting the cap on the payroll tax, which would make the highest earners pay more. The current payroll tax is capped at $168,600. So that would mean someone making $200,000 would presumably pay more on their taxes. Which of these solutions makes sense?
All right. So we're going to have to raise revenue, which means raising taxes. And I think pretty much we must face the fact that we're going to have some benefit cuts. I mean, if we just cut benefits, it's almost a 20% cut to make Social Security solvent. That sounds ridiculous. If it's just raising taxes, we're going to raise taxes by about 25%. One other thing I think we should keep in mind, I teach a class on pension economics, and I talk to a bunch of college-age students and talk about pensions, and we talk about fixing the problem by cutting benefits or raising taxes. And those students know that raising taxes means raising their taxes. They don't really think about the fact that when we say cutting benefits, we're probably saying cutting their benefits, because we're not going to cut the benefits of current retirees, because people think that's ridiculous, and it is. You can't hardly change your economic situation when you're 70 years old and you've been retired for 5 years, right? So there's a lot of constraints on the different issues. I think one way to think about solving this problem or addressing this problem is to think that A, we'd like a solution that really fixes the problem, at least for the next 75 years or so. Let's have a solution that we think will fix the problem, so we don't have this meeting every couple years like we've been doing. Maybe we'd like to fix the problem by treating generations somehow, not equally, of course, because we're going to have to treat retired people differently, but having some intergenerational burden sharing. And finally, I think we have to protect the most vulnerable parts of the population. And so one set of solutions that does some of that, or actually could do all of it, is to index the retirement age. We have increasing longevity, and we've raised the retirement age from 65 to 67. And nobody likes working when you're 65, and nobody likes working when you're 67. And that's what your grandkids are going to be doing if we don't change the law. And I'm proposing we change it and index it to longevity, so your grandkids are going to work more than to age 67. I also think we should raise the taxable max. The taxable max is at a pretty high level, but it only covers 83% of payroll earnings according to Social Security. Back in 1983, the taxable max covered 90%. And so we could raise the taxable max to maybe cover 90% of all payroll earnings, right? So you're still exempting the NBA players and stuff after they get to 200,000, but you're raising the taxable max. And that would generate a fair amount of revenue. We could also adjust the benefit formula. So Social Security's, it's got a flat payroll tax, but a highly progressive benefit payout. And so there's these, it's a little complicated, but basically Social Security figures your primary insurance amount. It's a dollar figure, and your monthly payments are based on your primary insurance amount. And there's ranges. And so for the first range, they call it a bend point, but for the first range from 0 to X, you get 90% of your primary insurance amount in your Social Security benefit each month. I mean, well, you get 1/12 of it. And then over the next range, you get 30%. And over the final range, you get 15%. And so one proposal is to don't change that 90% at the bottom, but that top 15%, add another category and change the 15% to 10, and add a category at the, half of that you pay out 10%, and the last half you pay out 5%. So you're reducing the payments to high income individuals.